Halo teman-teman, selamat datang di kedai TemuSolusi, tempat di mana bukan sekedar datang untuk ngopi saja, tapi di sini juga kita bertemu kemudian berdiskusi tentang solusi keresahan-keresahan yang mungkin dialami banyak orang. So, tema hari ini kita membahas soal keresahan-keresahan yang mungkin dirasakan banyak orang-orang Indonesia, khususnya untuk teman-teman yang lagi belajar bahasa Inggris. Bayangkan sejak TK sampai SD, SMP, SMA sampai kuliah, kita bertahun-tahun belajar bahasa Inggris. Tetapi ketika kita dikasih kesempatan untuk bertemu dengan orang asing atau native speaker, kita sering gugup, takut, dan bahkan cemas. Kemudian memilih untuk diam saja ketika bertemu dengan orang luar negeri gitu. Nah, kenapa bisa begitu? Apakah belajar bahasa Inggris itu sesulit itu? Atau memang cara kita memahami belajar bahasa Inggris itu masih kurang benar? Jadi untuk menjawab keresahan-keresahan itu, kita punya tamu istimewa. Beliau adalah native speaker, berasal dari US. Dan dia juga sudah lumayan lama berada di kampung Inggris. Kemudian memiliki kursusan juga. Please welcome Mr. Roy.
Thank you for having me.
Mr. Roy, so welcome to Kedai TemuSolusi. We are really happy to have you here. So I know you've been very busy with your class in Kampung Inggris, but you still have time to do a podcast with us. So I appreciate it. So Mr. Roy, I think our audience will love to hear your perspective about the topic. The topic is, why do so many Indonesians study English for years but still struggle to speak it confidently? But before we talk about learning English, so I'd like to ask you a question about your journey for the first time you come to Indonesia. Do you still remember the feeling when you the first time arrived in Indonesia? So why you choose Indonesia and why Pare?
Well, let's see. My journey started in 2012, and I met my wife via Facebook on a dating site. It wasn't like my idea to come to Indonesia or whatever, but yeah. When I met her and everything, and then I told my parents that I wanted to come and meet her. Yeah. They thought I was crazy, but I took a week off of my job, packed my clothes, and came here for 1 week. And it was the fastest week ever. And she picked me up in Surabaya, and then I went to meet her family, and it was kind of funny. I still remember it to this day. I was afraid to get out of the car. Yeah. Her mom, short, tiny, and I was afraid. And then I finally got out of the car, and when we greeted each other, her first reaction was try to rub off my tattoos. She thought, oh, it's just marker. So she's just rubbing, and they don't come off. You know, and so Inda my wife had to explain, and then we had a ring engagement ceremony, but nobody believed that I would come back. Everybody just thought it was a joke. Yeah. So I went home for 1 year. I worked, and then in 2014, I think 2014, I came back. And everybody was shocked that, oh, this is real. But I made a promise to her father, actually, when the day I was leaving to go back home, that I would not take her out of Indonesia. And all my friends and family, why you do it like that? Why you just not bring her here and blah blah blah? And they said, because I promised her father. Oh, okay. And so when I did come back, he thought again that I would take her away. And I just kind of explained to her too that, hey, I promised your father, you were standing there, you had to translate to him. And because I basically, I said I would take care of your daughter no matter where she is. And then he kind of, okay. And then, because the whole week I was here, didn't see him until the last day. And then the last day, it was kind of like a bonding type of thing. And then when I came back in 2014, her father became my friend. And even though we can't speak he can't speak English, he speaks pure Jawa. How we talk to each other, body language,
Body language. Yeah.
And yeah, it was like that for a long time with her mom too. And then during pandemic, I went home, and I wasn't at home, if you understand what I mean, because I put it in my brain that Indonesia would become my home. Whether I can speak Bahasa Indonesia or not, or Jawa or not, this is my home. And I met many foreigners that's been here for 30 years that don't speak Bahasa Indonesia or the mother language. And then the journey just started after that.
Okay, that's interesting. So, how do you start the business of the course in Pare?
Okay, so I was in her grandma's place. I learned how to sweep the yard, how to clean up after goats and feed the goats.
Yeah.
And her family is part of the police in Perry, and come to her and said, your husband don't look very happy here. Why don't you take him to the English village? And she totally forgot about it because she studied English in 2093 or 1993, sorry. And so that wasn't in our minds. I got invited there, and I worked with a couple of courses, and then we opened our course, and we started just with one student, and it grew from there. I went through, I opened a Saturday, Sunday program. I woke up Saturday morning like I always do, early morning, and many students out front. And I was shocked, made me cry because, and I'm not an English teacher. I'm just a native speaker. And at that time, I didn't really know how to get them to understand about the pronunciation or the grammar or the speaking ability or anything like that. And I had to teach myself.
Yeah.
And it took, to this day, still learning the process, trying to not fit in, but that will be in the next couple questions after that, maybe. But the journey started in 2014, and it took a group of students to ask me many questions for me to open my mouth. Because when I first come to Perry, I was arrogant. Look at me, I'm American and blah, blah, blah. Student try to talk to me, I just ignore them, because it was kind of weird, because when I was walking down the street and it said Campo English, there was no English. It was Bahasa and Jawa.
Yeah.
And in my mind, what is this crazy language? And my wife had to explain. Oh. And then many students, hey, mister, how are you, mister? And I not answer them. And then I met a couple of English course, an English course owner. He became a really good friend of mine, like my brother. And he told me flat out, dude, you need to stop being so arrogant.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And he goes, I need help. So I helped him in his course. And that taught me how to do a little bit of teaching, but I had to really train my ears for students that were passive but broken, speak backwards because of grammar situations or whatever. So I trained my ears for that. And then I just started doing things my own way. No translation, no memorization. And it works for me. But maybe for other people it doesn't work. But that's, how it goes really. But when we think about my journey, the journey to Indonesia was like the first things out of my mom's mouth was, "You're gonna die,"
Why?
because Islamic phobia, you know.
Okay.
And so in 2021, when I landed in Seattle and my mom picked me up, the first words out of my mouth were, "I'm alive," because I was here 8 years before. And then my mom was like, "Yeah, I was wrong," and blah blah blah. And then, but when I went home, it's not home. Wasn't home, and I never told anybody that I was moving either. Just my family, not my friends, nothing. I just move,
Okay.
you know. And then they found out, "Oh, you're in Indonesia," and blah blah blah. And I want to come and visit, and many of my friends come here. So it's, yeah. I mean, you get two different point of views, you know. We've been together now almost 13 years, and we have our ups and downs, and like just everybody else, you know, and we fix them, and I live a simple life. It's
a
raining.
wind. Yeah. No, it's just a wind.
So, you know, when, you know, they fight, you know, we're not always right, and they're not always right, and sometimes it's unbalanced, right? But we just live on.
So what the difference between your course method with the another course in Pare? Is that any difference?
Of course,
What is that?
I focus with the student. What they come to me for, if they say, "Mister, can you please help me in pronunciation? Mister, can you please help me in speaking?" Because my course is full speaking. I don't teach grammar.
Oh.
And I teach the student how to use the language, not to memorize. You know, you get vocabulary list and you just memorize, but you don't know how to use it. So we must know how to use.
So this is, I think, the audience wants to ask you why the Indonesian learners, they start to study English from kindergarten all the way out to the university, but they still struggle a lot how to speak English because they just think that English is just a subject in the classroom, not as a communication like that.
They don't have confidence. They don't have the right mindset. Maybe. Yeah, you're right. Like they start to learn in kindergarten and go through the school, and that's all just curriculum.
Yeah.
That's just textbook English. And when they finally, you know, they meet the foreigner or a native or whatever, they're shocked because they don't understand. Mm-hmm. And it's just like learning your mother language, learning Jawa, learning Bahasa Indonesia. You never memorize.
Right.
You learn how to use the language. And once you start to learn and you come out of that shell, you start to speak more and more. But also, I think the reason why students really have a struggle is because they're told that they have to be perfect.
Oh yeah, that's
One of the main keys I hear a lot. Oh man, my university says we must be perfect.
Yeah.
No, there's nobody perfect in the world. You know, I'm not perfect, even though I can speak English well. But I'm not perfect. I make many mistakes. Yeah. And so when I tell the student, just be yourself. Don't listen to anyone. Speak it the way you want. And then also in that question there, students think that they have to change their accent to speak English. Actually, you do not. She's proof. You know? Yeah. My grandson at 4 years old, fluent in English and still Java accent. That's your identity. Yeah. Why lose your identity to become somebody that you're not, right? Wow. So many, you know, I teach American style, and many students, "Mister, can you change my accent for me?" Nope. Why not? Because I don't want to. I don't have to. I just want you to speak. Get a job. Focus on your future. don't focus on accents and nonsense. So yeah.
So, do you have any message to maybe for Indonesian learners how to start to learn English, especially in Kampung Inggris, how to choose the course, how to choose the method for the for learning English? Is that any recommend for
It
you
de-
to?
yeah, it depends on them, really, what they're looking for. If they're looking just for a grammar class, you can study grammar, but the way it goes is speaking is before grammar, not grammar before speaking. But many students think grammar is number one. They must focus in grammar and focus in grammar, and then when they try to speak, they speak backwards because of translation is wrong or something. And when I changed the method in my course, I changed it completely to understanding the language, culture, habit, speaking, vocabulary, listening. Then the student starts to really figure, okay, I go to these big courses and they just play games and sing songs, and they have concerts on Friday night. There's no English in the concert. It's just all Bahasa Indonesia. Where's the English? So when they come to me, or people arrogant to me because I teach it direct, just straightforward, and I produce speaking student, the other courses get angry. Because it doesn't take very long. Actually, you can become fluent in English in 6 months if you practice it daily. But if you only practice it 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, you go to an English course and it's just the tutors are just using Bahasa Indonesia, how are you going to learn anything? Many foreigner in Indonesia that are in TikTok too, they do the same. They speak a lot of Bahasa Indonesia translation, and the student's still confused. Many of my students are university sailors, doctors, lawyers, and they succeed because their brain is okay, or their goal is, I need to speak English well for my job. I'm not here to play games. I need to focus. Many students need to focus, but they're too involved in their handphones. They're using AI and thinking AI is going to get them to speak fluently. AI is just English is a tool. We don't memorize tools. We learn how to use the tool, right? But why memorize? So it's just like I just took that out of my perspective. Okay, no more memorization, no more tongue twisters. I want it all direct, and it works in my course. I give the student 100% of my energy every day. I'm tired by the end of the day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We are as Indonesian really thank you very much for you to trying to make the difference in English village especially. So do you have any problem to teach them besides the culture from the different background of their life, like different province? A lot of students come from Indonesia, right? From another province. They have a different culture. They have a different accent, and they have a different mindset maybe. And then they come to your class in one class. And then do you have any like problem to teach them?
Sometimes yes. Sometimes the student really lazy and they act stupid. Sorry to say it like that, and I know the student's not stupid. They just act like they're stupid. They think it's really, really hard. Maybe they come from another course. They spent 2 or 3 months in another course, and they're not active inside that course. Like I said before, they just play handphone, play game, follow their friends around. So they're not really serious. And then they come to me and maybe join 2 days in my class. Oh, this is too high level for me. Gone. Never see him again. And then it's like, okay, but it hurts me like that sometimes when I student, think too high of themselves. They're beginners. They're struggling, and yes, they must learn, of course. But like I said, they must learn. They must learn the habit, the culture, not just bad words, but discipline. Many students that come into Campo English Perry-Kadiri have no discipline whatsoever. They don't know how to say excuse me, thank you, anything. They just walk in front of you, they bump into you, they don't, they just cut in line. But in my course it's different because I like I said, my course is just not about English. It's about how to live in the real world. Many Indonesian students don't know how to live and make money in the real world. Many of them come from a family like farmers, and they want to go abroad. They want to, go to the big city. So I must. That's part of me. I must teach them, because I was raised by a military man. My father was military, so I was raised with discipline, and just straight to the point in many things that I say. And do I get angry with the student? Sometimes, yes. Especially when they don't pay attention. Put the phone down, pay attention. And then, when they say, oh, I got job call, I say, okay, go take your call. Mister, guess what? I got my job. Congratulations. That's what makes me happy. Maybe the other courses, they don't care. But when my students succeed, like I have an alumni that's been in Florida for 10 years, and he found me in TikTok. Hey, Mr. Roy, you remember me? Blah, 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 blah. I've been in the US for 10 years. Wow, really? Yeah. But his English writing is still broken.
Why was that?
So, it's kind of like, I don't bully my student. I don't put my student down because they make mistakes. But I'm not gonna say every course, but many courses put the student down, bully them. Your grammar is bad, your pronunciation is bad, your speaking is bad. And then the student becomes silent and never speak anymore. I had 3 boys like that, and I finally broke their silence. Now they speak comfortable and they like it and they get jobs. So it's just kind of like, why are we there? Yeah, we all need to make money, yes. We all must make a living, yes. But don't treat the student like business.
Yeah.
Give them their education and what they want. I'm different.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Because I notice in America, it's so easy to make money. And in Indonesia, it's so difficult. Farmers make it so difficult for farmers to make money. Coffee shops, vendors, they make little money. Go to America, you find a job, you get paid every week or every 2 weeks or once a month, but your money is there every time. We never know about our money here. Maybe you plant grapes and it fails. You have no harvest. That means no money. Right? And then you must do it again and again just to make it right. Just like my course up and down, and maybe some student come and I don't have any student. Why does this bully have no student? Why is his course not big? Because I didn't build it to be big.
Okay.
If I want to be big, they won't allow me to have more native. So I must hire Indonesian.
Okay.
And my rules are really different in my course.
That's awesome. So, thank you, Mr. Roy. It has been a pleasure having you here. We really appreciate your time. and your valuable insight. Oke, demikian teman-teman, itulah tadi diskusi kita dengan Mr. Roy menjawab keresahan-keresahan dari topik kita, keresahan orang-orang Indonesia kenapa sulit banget belajar bahasa Inggris dari TK, SD, SMP, SMA sampai kuliah, tetapi tetap sulit untuk berbicara bahasa Inggris. Nah, hari ini kita bedah bersama Mr. Roy, dan kemudian semoga jawaban-jawaban dari Mr. Roy tadi bisa membantu kalian untuk mencari jawaban atas keresahan-keresahan tersebut. Semoga ini bisa menjadi podcast yang bermanfaat bagi teman-teman semua. Terima kasih kepada pihak-pihak yang telah membantu kita untuk melaksanakan podcast ini. Kedai Temu Solusi yang sudah memberikan kita tempat untuk menjalankan podcast. Kemudian juga Sanis Visual yang membantu kita untuk mendokumentasi dan mengambil video podcast ini. Sampai jumpa di next episode. Kita akan undang lagi narasumber-narasumber yang bisa menjawab keresahan-keresahan kalian semua. Jangan lupa untuk like, comment, and subscribe. See you.